Have you ever eaten at BD's Mongolian Grill? So at BD's Mongolian Grill, you are given a bowl. And when you get up there, you get to fill your bowl as full as you want for that one price. As much meat, as many vegetables as you want. That is your bowl. You take it to the grill, they throw it out, they grill it up for you. But this bowl is everything. And through the years, I have mastered the ability to pack this bowl so full of meat that, you put in the meat, and I would literally get my hand and I would smash the meat, and then I would put more meat. And then at that point, I would smash it again, and then I would move on to the vegetables. And I would put in, there were a few noodles in there. I would put in there some water chestnuts, and then you move to the pea pods. And if you place the pea pods just right, you can actually expand the diameter of your second level of the bowl, thereby allowing you to put what? More meat on your bowl. Eggs, the whole thing, sauces. It's an amazing work of art when you get to that grill and they throw it out there for you. If you go to BD's now, you walk into the place, there's rarely someone at the front door to meet you. You walk in, the tables are so spaced out that it's not the same. And then you go in and you have a personal person who walks you up to the place, and then you see your bowl. The bowl you always used to know, you can just see it. It's like within striking distance. You can almost grab it, but someone else is your personal bowl attendant, and they are going to fill the bowl for you. And so when I say put sirloin in there, they put a little sirloin. No, put a lot of sirloin. They put another little bit of sirloin. You're like, just a little more. They put 2 pieces more. And then they know you're ready to move to the vegetable. Only I'm not ready to move to the vegetable. There's still more meat that needs to go in that bowl. And you move to the next and the vegetables, and at this point you know that you're not going to be able to ask them to go back. And the vegetables, they put them in there. The pea pods, they just drop them in, and you put an egg in. It's not the same, man. I am ready for this to be done. I am tired of COVID-19. I'm tired of coronavirus. I want things to go back to the way they were in so many ways. But I also know I've been given something that I may never get again, that this is a time when things have changed. The world stopped. The world paused. The world that I thought would never do anything but just keep moving faster and faster. And I seriously wondered, what does it look like for it to move faster? And we found out that eventually when things move fast enough, something breaks. And when something breaks, just like when you're at Cedar Point and the top thrill's down for the rest of the day, you have to adjust. And we've had to adjust. And I so many ways want to go back to the way things were. But I also want to take in everything, and I want to make changes in my life. And I hope you guys, before you hit unpause, are willing to examine some things and think about it. This whole thing has caused us to think about when it comes to COVID and coronavirus. If you know me, when it comes to germs, I'm not worried about it. I go in, I wash my hands after I TT. I use the soap, everything, dry my hands, all this stuff. But then from there, I've done my part. If I go to the door handle and grab it and someone else hasn't, I don't think that much about it, germs just don't worry me. I'm not thinking about them. And so even in coronavirus, I will admit there was like one day where I walked out of the church and I was thinking, like I could almost see them floating in the air, knowing that this thing was just in the air around me, and I was concerned about it. But it really lasted a very brief time for me. I'm not worried about it. But it caused me to have to think about things differently, because if I love others, if I care about other people, then I have to think about their life. It's not just my life that's being impacted. I have to think about them. And if I say that I'm going to love other people, then I have to take this seriously. I have to wear a mask. I have to make sure that I have it with me. I make sure that, I don't do it 100% of the time just because I forget. But if I'm thinking about it, I wear a mask into places just to be respectful and to make sure that I'm protecting others. Do I love others enough to put my life on hold because their life matters enough to me? And, that has been one of the big things that I hope we think about as we think about hitting unpause. Has it caused me to think about other people a little bit more than I did before? 2 weeks ago we talked about Black Lives Matter, and that's really the big thing with this whole thing. As I think about loving others and I think about hitting unpause, it's like I want to think about people more than I did before. For my black brothers and sisters, I want to make sure that I don't just hit unpause and go back to things. I want to think about what I can do in this time that's going to better their life forever. And I want to think about when I go back to what the new normal is going to be, that it is a place where I am mindful of others at a new level, that I'm willing to put myself aside and to really think about what that means. How am I going to really, I've had a chance to pause and think about that, and I want to truly love others the way that Christ loved us. So I want you to look at 1 John 4, verses 7 through 11. And it says, "Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God." This is where it comes from. "Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his one and only Son into the world that we might live through him. This is love. Not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. God sent his Son Jesus to pay the price for our sins. Dear friends, since God loved us, we also ought to love one another." Ultimately, we want to love people to where they find a relationship with this God who gave his life for them. But a big way that we do that is just in day-to-day loving other people. Are we going to just really think about loving others? Am I going to put myself aside and realize that even though I don't get to fill my bowl for a while the way I want to at BD's, that my pea pods are going to be everywhere, that water chestnuts just carelessly scattered about, is the reality I have to live with? Because right now, it is not the time to go back to just things the way they were. I have to be mindful of my friends and people in this world that I may not know, but who may be more susceptible to this, that I want to think about them. A big part of this, before I hit unpause, is to think about love differently. That I'm going to move forward from this place. Yes, I am going to go back to, and there will be a day I will fill my own bowl at BD's. But there will be a day that is different too, where hopefully I'm thinking about others in a new way, loving people more like Christ loved me, and putting their needs and wants ahead of my own. Hope you'll show up on Tuesday night. We're having Tuesday talks. 4 o'clock is the high school. Go on the Zoom. Find the address below. If you're middle school, go to the Zoom below at 5 o'clock. Love for you guys to join us that's on Tuesday nights, the Tuesday talk. Be there, and hope you'll join us.